G'day there guys, it's your main man Marky and welcome back to another episode of r/Legal Advice. Now if you love today's episode, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and enjoy today's bloody good content. Thank you. Posted by user Redneck Lesbo. Titled, Arizona/Nevada. Just found out my wife was married as a joke in Vegas in 1997. I never thought I'd be posting on here, but I need some help on where to go from here. My wife and I are about to celebrate our 15th anniversary in a few weeks. Long ago, when we first got together, she told me she married one of her gay guy co-workers in Vegas as a joke when she was a teen. Honestly, I thought she was full of it, and that it probably wasn't legal anyway. Well, now I read in another post on Legal Advice about a guy who might have gotten married to a stranger in Vegas. Someone on his post added a link to the Clark County marriage record search. I put her name in, and holy crap if a certificate didn't pop up. She is sitting next to me ready to puke. She didn't think it was a legal marriage either. So, now what? She didn't really know the guy, has no idea what happened to him. She is searching Google and Facebook for him, with no luck. So I guess our marriage is invalid? We have 2 kids. What does this mean? Were they adopted fraudulently because our marriage certificate is invalid? I will get an attorney tomorrow, but would like to know what to expect. 1. What if we can't find this guy? 2. What if we do? 3. How much crap are we in for filing taxes together, getting our names changed, adopting our kids under the pretense that we were married? And 4. Best case scenario, quickie paper divorce, right? And then what? Do we have to get remarried? To clarify, we live in Arizona, marriage happened in 1997 in Nevada. Thanks in advance. Glorificent says, first step to solving any problem, don't panic. Step 2, find the husband. There should be sufficient info in the marriage certificate to track him. If he's dead, no harm, no foul, that ends a marriage. If you find him, step 3, have them file to annul. Annulment is the same as never happened. And if you can't find him, which in 2019 is unlikely, step 4, she unilaterally files to annul. And OP replies, thank you for this. He has a very common name, and she can't even remember what he looked like, so we aren't having luck on Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. It is entirely possible that he's living in Mexico now as well, as she thinks he may have been a Mexican national. We have a really good attorney who handled portions of our adoptions. She does some divorce law too, so I'll be contacting her in the morning. On the marriage license, there's no date of birth. Order the marriage license, and that will have enough personal details that you can run a great search to locate him. We just ordered it. All I can see online is his first and last name. Hopefully the certificate will include more info. She doesn't even remember anything about it, other than it might have happened. This should be interesting to say the least. Deep breath. You said a teen, but that he was a co-worker. If she was under 18, you've got it even easier. But as for tracking him down, her old employer may remember or have records. Did she go to Vegas with other people from work? If their names aren't as basic, she might be able to track them down and go from there. But yes, lawyer up. Turns out she was 20, so not a teen, but close. She thinks she might have also gone with a girlfriend, but can't remember who it may have been at the time. Her memory sucks for everyday things, so I have no doubts when she tells me she doesn't remember the details. I do have an attorney that we've used in the past for our adoptions. I'll be contacting her for this as well, as she also does divorces. And now we're going to read the update. So, I had such great feedback from my previous posts that I wanted to give an update. Court date for the annulment was today, and the judge granted it. That means it's like it never happened, and we can go on with our lives. It would have been a nightmare if not granted, because our marriage wouldn't have been legal, and it would have had major implications on the adoption of our kids, and even filing of our taxes. Luckily, all is well. As for the original wedding, we managed to track down one of the witnesses to the marriage. He was able to tell us that Elvis married them. Who the F doesn't remember that Elvis married them? And it was a double wedding. My wife and her girlfriend each married one of the couple of gay guy friends. They never imagined 22 years ago that that gay marriage would ever be legal, and so marriage was like a joke to them. Why they did it, I have no idea. But the other two are still married and don't seem to care since they're still friends. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for your help and the laughs. Our next post is by user Canova22, titled, "Website refuses to take down the ad for seasonal renting of our squatted house." So, this is a bit muddy because the website is international and very popular. Starts with a B. The house is in France. The owners, us, are French, but the house is squatted by UK citizens. Namely, my husband's family, who we let in the house graciously. After a few years, because of bad blood, we asked to get our house back, and they refused. Here again, we are rather in the dark. We are communicating through lawyers, but it has been on a standby since June. I think our lawyer is crap, but that's another matter. We originally bought this house to rent it to tourists, but never got a chance. The family moved in the moment we bought it. Now, they were legally asked to leave by the 1st of June. I have shown the paper to the website. Obviously they didn't, but on top of that, they have been renting the rooms to tourists since March. I contacted the website, provided them with proof of ownership, etc., and expressed my desire to see the illegal renting stop. I called several times, sent several mails, starting April. While it was momentarily made unavailable, the renting has continued and is still going on. Last time I called, the guy told me that it was up to their law service. He couldn't say or do anything. I threatened to go to the police, and he encouraged me to do so. Unfortunately, the police won't do anything. I have to go to the tribunal and pay a lot of money that I don't have. I then appealed to the law that says I can ask for my personal data to be taken off a website, as there are pictures of our house, exact location, etc. Same thing. Temporary disabled, then back on the website, no answer. From what I understand, the squatters have bought another house and are making the most of our house to make profit during summer before hopefully leaving. But at that rate, I'm wondering if they are ever going to leave if they can rent it for the whole year. I would really want to see it shut down. Do you have any idea what I can do? To answer some questions, it is illegal for me to change the locks, add locks, block them in any way, even though they are illegal in the house. Welcome to France. They also only rent rooms in the house while still living in it, so I can't rent it and take over. I still have the keys. My husband went to go get some of our stuff at some point, and was verbally and almost physically attacked. My family buffered, insulted. They called a friend to block the car, and so on. The extent of the bad blood is going quite far now. I definitely get your point about the lawyer. We are going on holidays for 4 days. If when we come back nothing has changed, I will get a new lawyer. This is ridiculous. I'm literally wondering if my lawyer has been bribed or something. Between the website not complying, my lawyer who is crap, and these people who literally pushed my husband to suicide and then refused to help the search party, I am utterly disgusted, and hoping they get all very lost very far. Thank you all for your help and support, and kudos. And now, on to the update. Hey guys, I wanted to give you news, as a lot of you sent us advice and ideas. First, I listened to you and gave up on my lawyer. We didn't have the money to get another one, but I hired a jurist and negotiator to try and figure something out. Unfortunately, they ignored her too. We were getting rather desperate, and thought it was going to end up in the tribunal when we got a message that they had left and the keys were in the veranda. It was. They left a lot of things behind, including framed pictures of my husband. I guess that's his mum's way of saying she's cutting him off. She's also blocked him on social medias. Now, to the point I was trying to debate. The website forever refused to comply and take the ad down. As a matter of fact, it's still up. I think the squatters enjoy the fact that we find it annoying. I pulled, pushed, wrote, called, complained, and filed an official complaint for the pictures to be taken down. Nada. Nothing. That very famous international website got all the proof that the house they were renting was illegally occupied, acknowledged that, and told me there was nothing they could or would do until I had a court order, basically. That was one insane rabbit hole I went down to. I am still quite confused as to how they can justify that. Now we are changing the locks and getting ready to do some work, furnish it, and rent it. The squatters have bought another house with a B&B, and have been renting for more than a month now. They were probably already gone when I posted my first message, but because of the situation of the house in a dead end, and the fact that they attacked my husband last time he was there, we didn't go and check, convinced they wouldn't leave until the end of September at best. We didn't do anything to push them out, as we didn't want to find ourselves sued or hurt, and we were afraid of retaliation on our animals. Basically, anything would have been illegal, short of staying outside of the property and taking pictures, have people roam around without getting in, and tell people that the renting of the rooms were illegal. This has caused a lot of stress and sorrow, but at least now we can move on. Thank you guys for your support and advice, and sorry moderators for creating a lot of work for you. Posted by user Drama Meter, titled, MN, School is accusing me of cheating with no evidence. I'm now suspended and want access to my social media and email to prove my innocence. I'm being accused of cheating in a maths exam. I am 16 years old, I got a perfect score in the exam, and the teacher asked me to stay after class, and she told me that she knows I cheated. I didn't cheat. My math has always been good, except last year when I was dealing with depression. She says she knows somewhat of my mental faculties, will never be able to get a perfect score, so I must have cheated. I told her that I didn't cheat, and I'm offended at the accusation. 2 days ago, I was asked to see the principal, who said the same thing, that I should confess to cheating and tell them how I did it so they can stop other students from doing it. He more or less threatened me. This can go very well or very bad for you, depending on your cooperation with us. I told him that I'm happy to retake a new exam right now, or at any other time to prove that I didn't cheat. But he said that I could have had time to prepare since the time my teacher talked to me. I told him that if their evidence for me cheating is my lack of mental faculties, then no amount of studying should make a difference. He still did not agree for me to take another exam to prove that I could get that score. Yesterday, I was asked to his office again, and he told me that he knows about how some students are cheating and offered me a clean slate if I let them access my social media and email to find out who they are. And if I give them evidence of other students cheating, he will let me retake the exam. I have no knowledge of what he's talking about, and I denied access to my social media and email. I'm now suspended for disobedience of school staff and lack of cooperation for proving my innocence from a cheating charge. This to me sounds very unfair, and I can't help but feel like I'm being targeted here for maybe a personal reason. Because this does not make any sense. They have no evidence that I have cheated and refused my offer of retaking the exam, and they insulted my intelligence. Snapdragon says, how ridiculous. I work for an MN school. Write a letter/email to the superintendent and copy the school board on the email. Be polite, factual, and at no time make any emotional statements or accusations. Simply explain that you are horrified that you have not only been belittled for your past, but that your current accomplishments are being diminished. What will this letter do? Well, honestly, probably nothing in the long run. The school can't reverse their decision to suspend you, as it already happened. But if you don't have a worthless superintendent and school board, I can tell you that kind of email is embarrassing, and the superintendent will quietly look into the issue, talk to the principal, to the teacher, maybe hand out some slaps on the wrist. These are, unfortunately for you, the kind of things you will never see. You won't get any justice from your perspective. But at least in my district, we do listen and pay attention as long as the people complaining are doing so in a very reasonable, calm manner. Unlike the screaming parents who call up because they didn't know their child was failing a class, despite 1,000 pieces of mail sent to their home letting them know what was up. Definitely do this. The school board and superintendent will likely be very unimpressed. I am not a lawyer, and therefore not your lawyer, and I'm not writing this letter, but I am just seconding what the poster above said about making it factual and unemotional. Factual and unemotional can paint a pretty clear picture that won't look great. Some examples of factual statements. I recently took a maths test in Teacher X's class. I did not leave my seat or use any materials outside my pen, calculator, and test paper during this period, and the maths test was supervised for the entire duration by Teacher X. I managed to obtain a perfect score in the test. This is in line with my good track record in the subject as per my school records, with the exception of last year when I was dealing with depression. Good advice. OP, make sure you also add the fact that they have zero proof that you cheated. You are being punished based on an assumption with zero factual basis. Edit, I realized you weren't actually suspended for cheating, but for not allowing them access to your social media. Check out the school handbook and see if there's a rule about that. If not, point that out in your letter. And mention that their request violates the terms of service for their social media accounts. So you're essentially being punished for following the rules. Look up the school district that your school belongs to and take a look to see if you can figure out the hierarchy involved. Most likely, it's the office of the superintendent that handles complaints against principals. You want to ask for a review of your situation. Your parent might have to make the formal complaint though, since you're a minor still. A good school district will investigate and speak to you, etc. Sounds good. My mom will not make a complaint, but I may be able to convince her to just sign a letter that I write. Will this make the principal hate me even more, and maybe look for retaliation later on? Maybe, but the school district can and should be on the lookout for that kind of retaliatory behavior. It's pretty easy to tell. I mean, if the superintendent has to have a chat with your principal to get them to knock it off, and then a few months later, or the next year you start having issues, it's not difficult to make a connection. Yeah, that's good to hear. Thanks. I will call and prepare a letter and have my mum sign it and send it to them in writing. And now on to the update. I did what you all told me to do. I wrote a letter, had my mum sign it, and sent it to the superintendent's office. I also called them. They said they will speak with the school. I was called into school and the principal's office and was told to take the test there in his presence. I did that. The math teacher came and looked through all my answers and said it's another perfect score and wanted to leave. I said loudly, I think you owe me an apology. She said, yes, I should not have accused you of cheating. I said yes, and another apology for saying I don't have the mental faculties to get a perfect score. She said, I'm sorry, and left. The principal said, don't push your luck, kid. I said, it wasn't luck, and you also owe me an apology. He apologized and said my suspension is reversed and it won't go in my records. I then went to the counselor and told him that now in his 24 years, there is one student who was accused of cheating and proved the teacher and administrators wrong, so he shouldn't give bad advice to the next poor student who is in my place. So things are sorted out now. But also, I'm not going to be arrogant or aggressive like that with people. I only spoke like that with them because they have said incredibly mean and insulting things to me, and I was very pissed off at them. And the counselor had given me horrible advice. Thanks for pointing me in the right direction. Alright, I think that's where I'm going to end today's video, guys. I do hope you enjoyed it. As always, I want to do a huge shout out to all my channel members and Patreon subscribers. You should be up on the screen now. I love you all, and I think every single one of you are amazing for supporting the channel in the way that you do. Again, thank you so much for supporting me. And again, if you did enjoy today's video, please do tell me what you thought of it down in the comments below. All of your hot takes, opinions, whatever you think, really, whatever's going on in your life right now, I'd love to hear down in the comments below. Before I leave, I'd also like to announce that I'm going to start doing meme content again on the second channel. I know it's been a while, so click on the marquee head on the screen without the Australian flag behind him if you want to go see some memes. And as always, guys, have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.